Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live interview session here at the PAME Code Facebook group Season of Courage. I'm Emmy, your host, and today we are joined by a well-known expert in the field of personal development, business, and leadership. He's passionate about helping others to step into their greatest possible self, and he's here with us today to talk about authentically courageous content creation. So without further ado, let's all welcome Mr. Heartfire himself, Chris Burns. Hi,
Hey, Emmy,
Chris.
thanks so much for having me on. I'm super grateful to be here and to support everyone who's listening or watching. And make sure you stick around till the end because you never know what one golden nugget can change the rest of your life.
Awesome. I'm really excited, Chris, that you joined us today because we do have members in the group who will be. Oh no, we lost him. Chris? Chris, I lost you. Okay, let's try again. I'm going to set another link. Chris, are you back?
I'm back.
Oh, yeah! For 1 second, I thought I have to do plan B, but fantastic. So I was actually just saying that we do have members in the group who are content creators. They are active on social media and they would like to learn more about authentically courageous content creation. But before we get into that, my first question here in the PAMI Code Facebook group, Season of Courage, is what does courage mean to you?
So, courage for me is the ability to take action in spite of fear. Right? In spite of the resistance, in spite of what comes up against you, you still stay focused on your goal, on your dream, on your vision, because life is going to happen. Things aren't going to go as planned. And when you have that ability to follow through and stay on the course, on the track, Emmy, you and I were talking about it. Like we get so distracted, shiny object syndrome. It's courageous to say no to people. It's courageous to stay on track and to follow through. So I believe it's the ability to act in spite of fear, to follow through with your dreams and your goals.
Wonderful. So staying focused, and even if you feel the fear, you just carry on and do it anyway.
That's right.
And I'm sure this is absolutely important when it comes to content creation. But do tell us, why is courage important when you create content, particularly in social media?
Yeah. So one thing that social media tends to do for people is it tends to all get jumbled together and all be a ton of noise. So to stand out in that noise, the sea of noise and content that's out there, you have to be courageous in your self-expression. You must be courageous in how you share yourself, in how you portray the challenges that you're going through, how you connect with your audience in new and unique and innovative ways. So if you don't have that courage, you won't be innovating. You won't be brushing up against the edges, doing new things, trying new things, and be willing to mess up. Be willing to get dirty, be willing to look stupid and foolish and not get it right. Because you have to be willing to do that in the journey of entrepreneurship, and especially in creating content. A lot of people say, I don't know what to create. I got writer's block, or I don't know what my audience wants. Well, try it out, test it out. Be a scientist in an experiment in a lab and have the courage to know that if you put something out that doesn't resonate with people, or if you get some hate or whatever it might be, that it doesn't resonate well, just know that you can keep going. It's just another blip on the radar. It's not going to take you down forever. It's just a part of the process of becoming your greatest possible self, of getting that brand out there. And I love helping people to take that leap. One of my clients, she was in a social media marketing business. She wasn't fulfilled. She wasn't happy. She wasn't working with her dream clients. So we got crystal clear on her dream clients and the business that she wanted to work in, which was women's empowerment coaching. And then she launched a podcast. Now she's getting bigger guests than even I get on my show, because she's just being bold and courageous and so inspiring. So that's really what's possible when you give people the empowerment to be courageous and share their message and go after what they really want.
Awesome. So from your experience, what do you think is the most common fear when it comes to content creation?
The most common fear is that someone will be judged as not as not enough, right? Like my story isn't enough. It's not unique enough. Why is anybody going to want to listen to me? I'm not where I want to be yet, especially for people who are starting out creating content on Facebook. They tend to be in the solopreneur space, where that means that they are building a business from the ground up. They're building a network marketing or direct selling or coaching or speaking or something like that, a service-based business, and they want to get the message out and they want to create content that inspires people, that brings people into their community, into their tribe, so that they turn into customers and clients. The biggest challenge, the biggest fear is that their story isn't enough. Like no matter how much they try or want it or desire it, the facts are that their story doesn't equal success in their industry. And so they're afraid that they weren't given the gift of a unique story. They weren't given the gift of a life full of hardship where they had to, overcome cancer or overcome a loss of a loved one or, go bankrupt and then make millions. Like they don't have that story. So a lot of people are comparing their stories to what other people are saying and sharing, and they feel like they're not enough. And so the fear of that is so ridiculous because there's someone out there who's a couple steps behind you, who wants your message, who wants to hear it from you. And there's nobody quite like you. You are so unique. You are so valuable. You're so specific in who you are. And it really takes time and energy to develop that message and that brand and the knowingness of your values and of what you represent for anyone listening or watching. And when you do that process, it's so powerful because you just own you. And that's what attracts people. You own your uniqueness. You own your gifts, your quirks. I've heard a quote say the wealth is in the weird, or in your weird, right? So be weird, be your unique self, and you will get wealthy. Find out what are those things about yourself that you love doing that nobody even has to pay you to do, but you do it anyway. And find out how can I integrate that into my business, my marketing, my branding, so that people see me as a unique offering rather than a commodity and like everyone else.
Love it. But I guess for some people, they cannot embrace their uniqueness. They cannot embrace themselves. So how do you overcome that?
Yeah, so the big thing that I found is just start, right? The big thing is start sharing. I did Facebook Lives. I think I did every day for about 90 days, a daily Facebook Live challenge. And then before that, I've spent thousands and thousands of hours on Facebook lives and videos in general to practice. It takes time. It takes so much time to develop the muscle of self-expression and effective communication. And with that practice and patience, you eventually get to the place where you are powerful, you're grounded, you're centered, you're clear. You know how to take something and turn it into a beautiful story and transform a down moment or a difficult moment or a challenge that someone might be having and create a new vision for what's possible in their life through your self-expression. So, really it's all about portraying the vision of where you want to go and where you want people to go. People are stuck at a certain place. So in your content creation, always give them a future that's bright, that's exciting, that they're living into, of what's possible. See the greatness in them before they see it in themselves. And also reassure them that they're not alone. Reassure them that no matter how many times they've screwed up, how many times they've messed up, how many times they have let themselves down, that you believe in them. And the biggest objective is to get them to trust themselves again, get them to trust that they can make the right decision, get them to trust that they can follow through, that they are enough, that they are capable. That's one of the biggest things that I go for in my content creation. I recommend everyone teaches their audience to re-believe in themselves, to bolster their self-image and self-esteem.
Right. So actually just creating it because you're reaching out to people and trying to serve others in that way. And from what I gather, it's about practice. You have to keep doing it so you become more comfortable and you become more clear actually as well about who you are and how you serve. But for some people, actually taking that first step is the most difficult one.
Yeah.
How do you take that first step? Where do you find the courage to take that initial first step?
So get some training wheels, okay? So think about this. If when you first started to ride a bike, you didn't start going 100 miles an hour pedaling down the street, right? Or 100 kilometers per hour, wherever you're at in the world. You had to do training wheels. You had to have help. You had to have your parents, kind of push you off to get you started or to build that momentum. So in the same way, use training wheels in your content creation. What is a training wheel? What does that really mean? How do you translate that to hear? Well, you can release a post specifically in a Facebook group where it's more safe and protected, and you know that there's a community like the PAME community who's here to help you, right? It's to help you grow, to help you practice, to help you build up your self-confidence, self-image. If that's too big of a step for you, ask for help. Raise your hand and say, hey, Chris or Emmy, I need some help. I'd love for you to let me know what you think about this video or this blog post or content post that I'm going to post up, and give me some feedback. And so we give you feedback so that way you know you've been vetted to know if it's going to be an effective piece of content beforehand. So find ways to practice in safe places. Ask mentors or coaches or people around you who you look up to, who you respect, who you know won't judge you or make you feel wrong. Ask them to look at it and give you that validation first so that you can have the confidence to put it out on social media.
Right. Yeah. So really it's practicing, but also asking for that support
Yeah.
if you need it, because you can't really do it alone. You do need the support of others to get you to where you need to be. And that's actually one of the messages here in the PAME Code. PAME means let's go together. It's about taking that journey and bringing people with you who are supportive, who make you, who will help you reach your goal. But for some people, they actually can't ask for help. It does take a bit of courage to admit that, yes, actually, I do need help. Can you help me?
Yeah.
How do you overcome that fear of, maybe maybe I look foolish if I ask for help? How do you overcome that?
So you can overcome it in a couple different ways. One is to remember why you started the journey in the first place. If your why is big enough, you can overcome any how. So if you experience resistance, remember why you started in the first place. The second is if you experience resistance or fear or doubt or fear, you can overcome that by remembering it's not about you. You're not doing this because of you. You're doing it to serve other people, to make a difference on other people. So every time the light is shining on you and you're paying attention to, oh, what will they think about me? Oh my gosh, what if I look dumb or foolish or silly? Then it's on you. But if you put the light on other people, say, oh my gosh, how can this post help someone else? Stop making it about you. Like, going to give you the fiery truth. We say the truth doesn't hurt, it burns here at Burn Up Coaching. So the truth doesn't hurt, it burns. Stop making it about you. Make it about someone else. Be of service. Put yourself out of the picture and just take that leap. Start a conversation. Say, I need help. Can you help me? Whatever that is, just get the conversation started and ask for that help.
Awesome. I love that. So really understanding your purpose, really understanding your why, and taking the spotlight out of you. It's about reaching out to someone else, because there will be someone else, another person who will need to hear that message. And, you can help that person by sending that message out into the world.
Yeah.
So if you have any other messages or piece of advice to those who are starting out, what would you say to them?
So I've found my biggest fulfillment in life recognizing that I have the ability to lead others, whether it's leading myself, leading my family, leading my community, leading my neighbors, leading my business, leading my community, online, offline, whatever. I can lead others. And it starts with leading myself. So focus on leading yourself and being the best self you can be, your greatest possible self. What does that look like? Get clear on that vision and then start taking steps towards that. How you get there as quickly as possible or in the most efficient way as possible is to take on leadership opportunities. Start doing more interviews. Start hosting your own show like Emmy. This is awesome. Emmy's building a reputation for herself that she is a influencer because she's getting other influencers to come in and share their valuable knowledge and time and energy and wisdom with everyone who's in the PAME group, right? So that's super awesome. So I recommend be that leader, create your own platform. You have social media, you have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these different sources that you're able to share a message. So recognize the power in that. Recognize that it starts with one step at a time, one piece of content, one share at a time. And when you can also message that to people. I recommend for every piece of content that you have in the beginning, send it to 5 people. Send it to 5 people, 5 different people saying, hey, this is awesome. Can you check it out? What do you think? Can you give me feedback? What did you like the most about this? Would love to hear your thoughts on this. So you got to do a little bit more of that grassroots marketing and effort up front so that you can start building the traction and awareness and viewership and engagement so that you can build the brand.
Fantastic. And this is the route towards building your greatest possible self.
Yes.
Is that your branding, Chris?
That is becoming your greatest possible self is the branding. We also have a podcast, Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. So you can go find that at beyourgps.com/iTunes. That'll take you to the iTunes store, beyourgps.com/iTunes. That'll get you to the podcast on iTunes. And if you have any questions, just search Chris Burns on Facebook. I'm usually the top of the list. And I'm sure Emmy tagged me in this too. So you can find me, send me a message, let me know you heard about me from here and from Emmy. And I'd be happy to support you however I can.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Chris. I'm sure our members will pick up so many new nuggets of wisdom from you, especially for our content creators in the group. Lots of coaches, lots of entrepreneurs in the group. And it's really important to show your greatest possible self and create content that's authentically courageous.
100%. Yes. And Emmy, thank you so much for what you're doing. I acknowledge you for putting this platform together, bringing amazing people together, and helping all these amazing content creators and influencers and inspirational people out to get their message out into the world. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Well,
You're welcome.
bye for now. Thanks for joining us. Bye. Bye-bye.